Alright, welcome to this battlefield terrain tutorial. I've got another battlefield for you here, as per usual with this series, and I'll show you step by step how this terrain is put together. And there's no reason why you can't copy all the bits that you see, or some of the elements. It's up to you. You can take and leave as much as you want, but you can achieve the same results that you see on the screen here. It's a very atmospheric chaos gate piece of terrain across here that we've set up using a number of different combinations here. I'll leave as many links as I can in the video description below just to help you out, and then you can copy any or all parts of this to achieve the same results. So I often like to do some kind of like feature on the battlefield. So this chaos gate here in the middle, and then it's surrounded by all this imperial ammunition and stowage and so on, and then we've got this kind of lava landscape here, just trying to create a theme and a story. Terrain is so important. It's great to paint up your models, get them based up and finished, but terrain just really is a great backdrop for them. Just you can really immerse yourself in the whole vibe and feel of Warhammer 40,000 if your terrain is well put together. So it's worth investing in, and you can play multiple games over and over once you've got decent terrain setups. The first part is your foundation, which I use the battle mats from GameMat.eu. This one's called Hell on Earth. It's 6x4 in size. I've marked it here with these imperial accessories, just like an electric fence running across there. Just check their website. They do 60 by 44 inches, the appropriate, or the standard size for 9th edition games of 40k. So it'll be trimmed and comes at that correct size. So you won't need to mark off the boundaries on that mat. They do double-sided mats, multiple sizes of the same version, so you can pick whatever size that you want. But this one's called Hell on Earth. It gives you the ash kind of grey kind of effect to it here, and you've got these areas of lava showing through at different parts of the board as well. Let's just run this around so you can get an idea of the feel of that. So it's not jet black, it's got ash kind of colours running through here. There's a little bit of grain, not enough to disrupt this board, but there is a small bit of that on there as well, but mostly it's this kind of ash kind of finish to it. So the mat gives you a foundation. It's nice and quiet for dice rolling, figure friendly as well if models fall over. You just simply roll up the mat. I actually put the mat on top of some upside down mats. It's this mouse mat material here. It says the board underneath here at the club, and there's another one of the mats just there. Flip that upside down, and that gives you actually a nice black trim finish around the edge, and the other mat just sits on top and just rolls out flat every time. Clear up the terrain, roll the mat away. Every mat that they do comes with a free carry bag as well, so you can then transport it if you're taking it to your club, and so on. I'll just roll it up and protect it when you put it away. So it's a good system for creating tables nice and quickly. So the next stage is lifting the terrain up. We've got our colours here. That's what we're trying to stick to as close as we can. So for this one, I've gone for a combination, a couple of sets of terrain, ones that I've built myself years ago, and then combine that with one of the pre-painted terrain sets from GameMat.eu. Usually I do a bit of colour adjustment and so on. With this particular set, this is exactly how it comes painted. So I haven't had to do any changes on this one at all. They've really created this kind of glowing hot rocks kind of effect. This is the lava rocks set from GameMat.eu. So it's this piece here. There's some archways, small and large. You can see them dotted around the board. There's another large piece of terrain across here. So if you're not going to make your own stuff and you want to fill up the board, probably 2 sets of that would fill up this table quite nicely. So there's those here. I blend them in with my little rocks I use. These are the grey ones. Because they're grey and the ash kind of colour, they fit in nicely with this lava terrain. Also use them on my sort of urban city fight type boards, so I'm able to use the rocks in different setups. I got some lichen, just to represent some dead, burnt, charcoal bushes on the board. I actually bought that as, I took some of my green actually and then just dyed it black. I think I used black ink from an ink cartridge for a pen. It seems to have stained it well enough. And that was done years ago, and it's stayed on there just fine. So just a small amount of that, but it just helps to break up the terrain. Mix that with your stones, and then spare accessories and bits from kits. Most of it's sprayed up silver, and then multiple washes put over the top. And that's all you need to do. All sorts of little bits, spare bits from building projects. Put on the board. Part of a building across here. Spare weapons from vehicles. There's a Crute rifle. There's a Tau plasma gun, or plasma rifle, or a pulse rifle. There's a hatch from a rhino. Just taken the clippers to it, scratched it up, and then put the rusty washers over the top. Then bent it up a little bit. You can see it's damaged. Just leave that scattered around the board. It all helps just to break up the terrain. You've got the terrain across here. As soon as you put a piece like that on, it just breaks it up for you. So that's just helps to merge the terrain into the board, just to blend the whole thing together. So I've done it around here and just around all the different parts of the board. The next part, I've covered this before, is scratch built terrain. I'll run through it again. I'd just give you like a run through of how to put it together. So the foundation is vinyl floor tiles, which you can get from your local hardware store, DIY shop here in the UK, places like B&Q, Homebase and so on. Just a cheap pack of them. They're vinyl materials, so that there's a stiffness to them, there's a little bit of flexibility, they'll sit nice and flat for you. I sand over them and then to give them something for the glue to bite onto, and then start to build the height of the terrain on top. The structure of this, underneath this, is just polystyrene packaging, so you can get that from anywhere. You know, the packaging you get on a television or whatever, and you can whistle away and cut that with a knife. I made it into multiple layers and built it up. Glued it all together, PVA glue. You can then sand it to make it to smooth off the hard edges. You can break bits off. You can use a knife to sculpt and to cut to build up your layers, and so on. Just pieces of volcano. You can do small levels. Here's a small part here. There's real rocks that I placed onto the base of this one as well. Around here, the main height of this was built up with polystyrene and then pushed real rocks into it to add some structure to it as well. These old trees are old dead bonsai plants I got a hold of and glued those in. There you can use tree roots, weed roots and so on, and just work those into the terrain to create these burnt out old trees across the board. There's another one just across there. Then once that's all dried and you put your main features on top, you're basing it like you would do models. So it's PVA glue slapped all over it, nice and generously. Then stones and sand scattered over that to create that rocky kind of effect. Right, so then once that's dried, I then spray over the top. I use black here and then just start the highlighting process. So shades of grey and white being used across here. Orange, red, yellow paint being used to create the glowing kind of effect. The lava that you see down here is just PVA glue poured on top once this is finished and letting it flow down in different directions, and then painting that, you can see, with red, orange, yellow, a little bit of white for the extreme highlights on that to create that lava effect. So that's how you create that, even highlighted across here with the greys and so on to get that finish on that terrain. So that's how you built the scratch built terrain, quite straightforward. And once you have that set, you've got it, so you can use it. I've been using this for years on the channel. And then I've combined it with the GameMat.eu terrain here just to fill out the table with this lava effect. So then across the board really is just accessories, your regular sort of 40k accessories across here. There is the main feature, which is the Chaos Gate from Games Workshop. Brilliant piece, I really love this piece, and a brilliant feature to have on your board. Just instantly turns it into Warhammer 40,000 terrain. And I've just surrounded it here with a load of gaming accessories, 40k terrain accessories and boxes and barrels and so on, just to create a real feature there in the centre of the board. Some burnt out wrecks as well, just quickly painted together. That's actually club terrain here from SSWG War Games Club. So main feature, so you can do that on any kind of board that you do. And your option is to go for pre-painted terrain, very quick and easy. It's all pre-painted and done for you. It matches nicely with this board, or you can go ahead and make your own scratch built stuff however you want. And I've covered how you do that in the video. I'll put links for the mat and the pre-painted terrain in the video description below, so you can click on those links and get a hold of that terrain and make use of the discount code that's available from GameMat.eu as well. The link for that, or the code for that, is in the video description below. So that's the terrain. What we'll do next is the usual. We will do some panning shots around here to give you the vibe and atmosphere of this table. And by all means, copy as much of this tutorial as you wish. There's no reason why you can't come up with your own terrain pieces that look just like this for your games of Warhammer 40,000. Keep a look out for more videos in this series. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.